Practice set 13. Use the cosine formula to solve each right triangle. You will either solve for the missing angle A or side X. Well, in this first triangle, we are looking for this acute angle. We'll use that as our reference angle. And as with all right triangles, we will start with labeling. And the first side to label is the hypotenuse, the longest side, the side opposite our right angle. With A as our reference, through the triangle, that means along the bottom here, we'll give this the label of opposite. And last, the third side in the right triangle, we give the label of adjacent. Using the cosine formula, cosine of an acute angle in a right triangle is equal to the ratio of the adjacent side length over the hypotenuse length. We don't know the angle, so we'll leave the A. The adjacent side in this problem we identified as 35, and the hypotenuse has a length of 78. To solve this equation, we'll do the indicated division, taking the numerator 35 and dividing it by the denominator of 78, giving us a decimal equivalency of 0.4487. The goal then is to get A by itself, and to get rid of the cosine of A, we have to do the inverse of cosine, which is the arc cosine. So we'll take the arc cosine of each side to maintain equality and to get our variable by itself. The arc cosine of cosine, since these are inverse functions, leave A, the angle measure that we're looking for. We'll use our calculator to find the arc cosine. And just as a reminder, that is oftentimes symbolized with cosine to the negative 1 power. You'll most likely use the shift or the second key on your calculator to get to this function. And rounding that arc cosine of this decimal value, you should have 63.3 rounded to the nearest tenth. In problem number 3, we're looking for this side length X. Since they're giving us the measure of this acute angle, we'll use it as our reference angle and start labeling the sides. First with the hypotenuse, the longest side, the side opposite the right angle, hypotenuse, through the triangle. This will be our opposite side, which is opposite our reference angle, and the third side then is the adjacent side. Using the cosine formula, cosine of the angle is equal to the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. Replacing the relevant values given, we do know our reference angle measurement, 82 degrees, so we'll put that in place of A. The adjacent value is given as 75 hundredths, and the hypotenuse we are looking for. To solve this equation, we want to get rid of that denominator. So we'll multiply both sides by X to maintain equality. We'll leave the left-hand side as is temporarily. On the right-hand side, the X in the numerator cancels out the X in the denominator because X divided by X is equal to 1, leaving us with 0.75. We now no longer have a fraction, and we do want to get X by itself. So our next step will be to undo the multiplication on our variable by a division. And that means we're going to divide both sides by the cosine of 82 degrees. Just like on the left-hand or right-hand side, on the left-hand side, the cosine of 82 divided by the cosine of 82 cancels out, leaving 1. 1 times x is x. And here on the calculator, we can put in the value of 0.75, the numerator, divided by cosine of 82. Be sure you hit your equals. That would be the correct order if you're using a direct algebraic logic calculator. If you have a traditional calculator, you will start with 0.75 divided by, and put the angle measurement in, then the trig function, and be sure you hit the equals so that that division operation is done. And rounding to the nearest tenth, the value that you should find is 5.4, which is the length of the hypotenuse that we're looking for in this problem.